Audiotree Live. Today is May 8th, 2025, and I'm your host, FINGY. Before we get into today's session, I do urge you to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can stay in the loop with all the amazing music we have going down in this studio. With that being said, we're on all streaming services, so Spotify, Apple Music, you name it, we're there. But today, we have Fish Narc in the studio. He's a visionary artist who has broken the rules of rap to create hardcore, heartbreak hip-hop. With over a decade in the game, he's continuously pushing the envelope, and his last project is a testament to that. Take it away.
You guys ready? Can't even see naturally. Nice work, band.
Cracked leather, ice on the windshield when she waits outside. Damn, it's cold tonight. It dreams like an old car. Been running so hard, boy. She's got a boxy volvo, ain't used to riding solo. Dice sang from the rear view, like fuzzy hands. They wave goodbye. Run shotgun, maybe we could have fun. Scoot me in your old car, but take me back, take me back. Scrap metal out on the west coast. Now the things you choose, they leave you no choice. Are you tired of the rain now? Do you miss the train now? Will she be riding solo, driving in her boxy Volvo? Wanting nothing else, ride with you. Take me to the show. Oh, ride shotgun, baby, we could have fun. Scoot me in your old car and take me back, take me back. Grip the wheel, place your hands at 10 and 2. Ain't no time to waste, girl, push that pedal down. And this is a small town, there's not much going on. Even I get restless too. Don't look at me with skyscrapers in your eyes, 'cause it eats me up inside. I won't deny, I want you to take me for a ride. Ride shotgun, baby, we could have fun. Scoot me in your old car, take me back, take me back, take me back, take me back.
Hey guys, this has always perplexed us here at Audiotree. Over 88% of you that watch our show are not subscribed to our channel. Kind of wild, right? So could you please do us a favor? If you like this show and you like discovering new music and you wish to support us, the free and simple way to do that is to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And our commitment to you, if you do that, our team will continue to book the best bands we can, listen to your feedback, and book who you want to hear on this show, continuing to capture and share astounding music to you all. Thank you. So sick. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for being here, dude.
Thank you, Fingy.
Of course, of course. Listen, you have a very long-standing musical history. We don't have enough time, unfortunately, to get into all of it. But you were one of the pioneers for SoundCloud rap, emo rap. What are some artistic takeaways that you got from that era that has helped inform this one?
Man, I learned so much in that era. I started off as a rocker. You know, I was playing in bands in the West Coast DIY circuit, which was, you know, a pretty big thing. You know, a community that stretched really from, you know, Vancouver, BC out to Phoenix. And that was really where I got my start playing music. And after the Ghost Ship fire in 2016, a lot of those spaces got shut down, and the scene suffered a lot. And I ended up joining the SoundCloud movement, before it was a thing, really because I was a fan of like Raider Clan and Kinayada up in Seattle. So they invited me into the crew to be a booker, to help book shows. And it was kind of by accident that I started making beats, but young bruh used to sleep over at my house, and he would stay and use my computer, stay up all night and record. And he got on some keyboard loop I made that was like sounded like Psychic TV or something. And he's like, "Oh, you got to make beats." And I was writing so many songs for myself, and I kind of just felt unfulfilled by it, but wanted to learn how to make songs for other people and put my music behind them and hear what other people's voices would sound like on it. And I spent a long time reformatting how I played guitar to make guitar beats, and what ended up becoming emo rap was kind of organically simmering in this collective underground space. And it really hit me like a ton of bricks a couple years later that, dang, I was ready to write my own songs again. So coming back to it, I sort of realized the main lesson was every instrumental is a beat, and anybody recording vocals on that is an artist. And instead of thinking like, oh, I have to write these like band paradigm songs in order to play them as a band, I kind of was like, oh, I can treat this like I'm making beats and just come up with riffs, come up with parts, and build the songs out as they go. It didn't have to be sitting down on the couch with the acoustic guitar. But just the multitude of recording techniques or ways of people were manipulating their voice or coming up with lyrical themes, using tropes and stuff like that. I learned so much from being a producer in that movement that I wanted to put my own spin on stuff again. So I started writing my songs.
Yeah. So you essentially reformatted the way you went around producing this music to philosophically approaching live instrumentation in the same way?
Yeah, totally. Because if you play guitar like a lead guitar player when you're making beats, you're going to end up with something that nobody can rap on, which I would say a good 50% of my beats are unrappable. Got too many instruments, too much going on. You kind of learn to play the click track and start thinking about stuff in 8s and 16s and 12s or whatever, rather than like, what's this going to sound like when we play it in the basement?
Yeah.
But then, full circle, I realized, dang, I also need to be able to play my songs all the way through and have the vocals match with the rhythm of the guitar, because it got wonky.
Yeah. And you said up until this last project, the previous projects were structurally more rap albums, and this one wasn't. What are some of the defining characteristics between a structural rap project versus a rock?
Right. The other projects have a lot of, style-wise, they are rock sounding and they use rock instrumentation and stuff like that. But I was writing in the way that I had seen rappers write, or I had engineered for rappers when I was producing, which was like, you write part 1, record it, track it to the click, put the drums on, and then I would record bars, like singing bars, as if I was doing punch-ins basically. It's kind of around the time that scam rap was blowing up that I started doing this. So I was thinking about myself like Casher Kwan or something, just punching one bar after the next.
Yeah.
I think people could argue and say that structurally my records before this one were not rap, but I feel like I say that because I want to pay homage, and also like structurally the way I was recording it, bar for bar, freestyled lyrics, kind of, adjusting till I got the melody right and then filling the words in. It was more akin to what I had, the way we had been making songs when I was the producer and, with somebody like Peep or Wicked Phase or something like that.
So then with this project, were you trying to approach it from a more lyrical narrative standpoint and do these verses in one takes and comp from there instead of going bar for bar?
I just was writing the songs with an acoustic, sitting on a couch and trying to be able to play the songs all the way through before I recorded them. Which,
humbling
was a bit
experience.
of a challenge. Totally. So I was just sitting on the couch. I had the acoustic. I've been really attached to the acoustic lately. It just felt right. And a lot of these songs, I had to have them down because we were touring a previous record we had made, and I could not do it live. It was just no space to breathe. And the record sounds cool, but we're performing in this rock band format, and it was just really hard to do those songs. So I was like, I gotta, actually, if we're gonna do it this way, I need to approach it kind of from the older way of doing stuff.
Copy. It's good that there's been this like snowball progression of informing your art as it goes. And over this, past decade of really being locked in, what has been a level of personal evolution that's informed your art?
Man, well, moving back to Washington State, into Olympia, which is a place I grew up going to shows. I'm from Seattle. Grew up going to shows in Olympia. We moved back there. Emma's sister lives there, and it's how we ended up there. It's really like kind of the seat of Washington counterculture over the years, like the Riot Grrrl movement. Nirvana was really an Olympia band. Even in my teen years, that was the coolest scene, was stuff like Gun Outfit, Milk Music, Sex Vid, Gag, who we're on tour with, band that I love. So being back in the Northwest and kind of my home turf and ensconcing myself in rocker community again, which I just hadn't been for many years. It was really, it had new inputs and new inspirations and new tastes that also allowed me to get outside a lot more. I'd just been living in the cities and basically living in studios, and I found myself during the pandemic foraging for edible mushrooms a lot, and something I did with my parents when I was a kid. But I got really obsessed with it. I had a lot of time and a little more resources I could drive. So that kind of snowballed into an interest in ecology and plants. And I'm really like deep into that stuff now, where my brain is filled with scientific names of plants, and I've gotten really into conservation and botany and stuff like that. And just having something besides music that I was obsessed with kind of, I think without that, I couldn't have come back and just sat on the couch and wrote songs that were just, me playing guitar or something like that. I would have overthought it. And I just have this outlet for the physical energy I feel I need to let off, or, a space to be when I have really strong emotions that isn't just like attached to my ego, like making music has become. When you do it for a long time, you're getting paid to do it. It does become more ego driven, and I'm not ashamed to say it, but it is really nice to get out of that space. And man, I clone imperiled manzanitas.
Okay,
like
shout out imperiled manzanitas. No, but that really does resonate. I think it's really cool that you've been able to step outside your own ego, your own self, be able to hyperfixate and become enamored with something else, another form of life, just as music is, and then reapproach in a way that allows music to take its own life instead of, funneling it through your own ego and headspace first.
Totally.
That's sick.
As a beat maker too, you're expected to make hundreds and hundreds of beats, like an unfathomable amount of beats to be a competitive producer. Like you really just can't be thinking about other stuff.
Right.
So it's just a lot of stuff going on, because it's really important to my identity, having been a beat maker, as it was really important to my identity when I was fully focused on making beats. It was so important that I had been a rocker before, and that my approach was informed by that. And then coming back to being a rocker, wanted to be informed by the beats, but the work ethic that you get being a producer, I couldn't write good songs in that paradigm, low-key. I was pressing too hard. So getting outside really is the best.
Touch grass, touch mushrooms.
Download iNaturalist and, learn your native plants and ecology.
And honestly, I will.
It's
Thank
so
you
fun,
for that.
dude.
Sick. Should we run a couple more?
Yeah, let's do it.
Hell yeah.
Speaking of old band.
Upside this shit. I can't get a grip on it. Think I'll let loose on the next one. And what the fuck are you staring at me for? You scream the words but don't know what they mean. Ooh, that stings, but I'll be okay. I say the same things to myself. Take it, Joko. Trust and I'll never tell your secrets. And back when we was fucked up and never told you no lies. Ooh, that stings, but I'll be okay. I say the same things to myself. Man, we was talking about ecology. I gotta just say, this song is about Thurston County prairies and the need for a fire regime, you know, to restore fire-dependent ecologies. It's my one little speech. You ready?
Yeah.
Sunshine, I think I prefer the rain. Tidal wave or eruption, you know we deserve the pain. And you talk like you
was the first time I've ever seen anyone jerk on Audiotree.
I've been working on my jerk while playing guitar.
Yeah.
It's a little bit hard, but I just kind of think
You
I got it.
killed it. It was so
Thank you.
joyous too. I feel like it's usually like a swag moment, but you just look like you're frolicking
You
through
know,
some mushrooms.
I forgot how to two-step in my body, and I just can only jerk.
Yeah, hey.
I was
and
like watching Gag, and hit
Yeah.
a jerk in the two-step part. Funny.
That's fucking sick. That's sick. So your last project, Frog Song.
Yes.
A lot of it has to do with love and disavowing greed. I know we began to tap in on the post-producer realm that you were in, but were there any realms of that brought greed into your life? And if so, how was that disavowed?
Dude, I mean, honestly, like, the meteoric rise of GothBoiClique, so much money was put in front of us that most of us never really touched it. I mean, but there was just this idea of producing wealth, of becoming rich off of this and really getting our due. And it kind of changed from that aspirational, like, oh, we're up, like, this is sick, we're going to be good, things are going to be different, to like, dang, like, other people are collecting our money, which, that's just the reality. But it wasn't necessarily like, oh, I'm Mr. Moneybags, need it, but just this like mentality of how do I make money all the time? How do I continue to grow and expand? And that's just like the capitalist paradigm in general, like growth,
Right.
expansion. Everything needs to be bigger than the last, otherwise you fell off, otherwise you're done. It's also like the ecology theme I'm talking about that I think about all the time is the double-edged sword of that is it's so amazing to have this lens every time I go outside, even at a gas station, I'm seeing what weeds are growing in what regions and kind of tracking invasive species there. And that's my ecology as a touring musician, Homo sapiens, as
Yeah.
gas stations. But, the destruction of natural spaces is predicated on greed. And I just really wanted to, I haven't really gotten to the point of writing like these songs that illustrate that all the way, but it's, steps. I'm not perfect and not necessarily at the like level of songwriting yet, but I want to talk about that. I really want to appreciate things that are right in front of me and like just think about, like, dang, like I could never know every leaf on even one plant in my yard. I know it sounds hippy dippy, but they're really like the smaller you put your focus on, the more there is to appreciate and the less need there is to take more and have more. And I hope I'm not sounding corny, but
No.
that's a disavowal of greed part. Just the arc of making music that got really popular and then kind of getting shut out of it and being really grateful for the ability to keep making music and that being enough. For love, it's like Emma and I are together and I love her so much and it's a stabilizing force in my life and inspired me to write songs that are some of the best ones I've written, I think. And also just like it's interpersonal love. It's love for my girl. It's love for my friends. But it's love for the world too that I felt like pretty angry at,
Yeah.
constantly. It's
Yeah.
been a theme of my life, and trying to like turn my mind or whatever,
Yeah. And I mean, your girl and your friends are almost like the leaves and the world is like the ecosystem that you're already in.
You're so poetic,
Yeah.
Figgy.
Hey, dude, I'm just riffing off of you.
I love it.
We're locked in.
Yeah, we are.
But with this band, how did this come to be? We're on the phone and you're like, this is the best one we have yet. Tell me more.
I got to shout out my bandmates, man. I have Emma on bass. We got Roman, a.k.a. Jans, one of the great producers and DJs of our scene, our community.
Thank you.
On lead guitar, we have Joko.
Jofio.
Jans, obviously, is his producer name. He's made a ton of incredible music with various artists, Cold Heart, Wicked Phase, LaFavi. He's just a powerhouse. Emma's in a band called Fantasia that everyone needs to check out. They have a record called Ghost Stories that came out, and they're working on their next one. It's amazing. She's also in Crime Watch, legendary band. Joko is in Valentina Bludgeoned, which is a really cool band from the Bay. I met Joko because he was playing drums for Cage World, which is like one of my favorite bands. Ava Smith produced the last record, produced Frog Song with me. We have like a creative partnership that's really strong, and I love her so much. And one of the many blessings that Ava brought was Joko. He's also in Ivy Blue. He's got a bunch of projects, but such a ripper. So it's really cool, man. Like we were playing with backtracks with drums in the beat, and just me and Jans, or me, Jans, and Emma, and kind of ended up working out. Jan's been a drummer. He's really good. He learned the set in like 10 days when we lost our drummer, and it's clicked. You know,
It's just clicked. So you
It's
got the Avengers, I'm hearing, of
That's-
the Pacific Northwest.
That's how it feels.
Oh, that's sick. That's sick. And what can we look forward to as the continuement of your project goes forth?
Been writing the next record. I feel really blessed to be releasing with Kay. It's a label that I grew up idolizing, and Calvin is just the real deal. One of the most dedicated and undeterred by obstacles. He's just an absolute factor and a legend, and I'm really stoked to be dropping with him. But we have a new record that we're going to work on for Kay. It's even more folky and more acoustic-y, but I think we're going to write it's a lot of the times just me writing the songs, but I think we're going to finish it by writing a bunch of songs together that will be a little more rocked out. But
Nice.
kind of a continuation of Frog Song. I feel like we've really found the sound with Frog Song. It feels really comfortable, subjective, and I don't know, we're going to keep pushing that.
Hell yeah. Well,
Jans and I are
can't-
also producing a new GothBoiClique group album, just really sick. Every living member is going to be on it, and
Boom.
something we haven't all done together since 10 years ago.
Yeah. And you still find time to tap in with the local mushrooms.
Yeah, barely.
Dude.
But I'm about to go forward for Burn Morels when I get back to Washington.
Okay,
It'll be cool.
nice. Nice. I'm glad. I'm
Yeah.
glad. All right, should we round this out?
Let's do it. Thanks so much for having us.
Coming from a payphone in LA. He said he was stranded in Hollywood. Were we all? We took the red line after dark. 10 toes on Sunset Techno Park. I'm more active after midnight for 3 nights. Call up V9 accidentally what you wanted. In the graveyard of self-destruction, we were late nights just to function, and everybody waits around for nothing. Under the pink sky, meet at the pond, we were the frogs, watch the world burning, constantly turning. Please let me off, won't answer your calls, and scratch at the walls. Think that we could ever be involved. It's really fucking dumb that you think we would be involved. Do I have to address it again? Love me, yeah, all they wanna do is love me. Never smart enough to judge me, know where I came from. But you wanna know something? I could give a hoot about what you think. Like it was worth nothing at all. Lives in a wildfire, burning fast and bright. Wanna take away the pain for the long ride. In the darkness, I'm awake another night.
Oh, so sick. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Fingy.
Of course. Thank you to our crew for capturing this. We can't do without
Man,
you.
shout out the crew.
Hey, and thank you for watching this. By the time you are watching it, it's already on all streaming services. So Spotify, Apple Music, you name it, they are there. Again, if you could subscribe to our YouTube channel, that would be very, very helpful. My name is Fingy. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.
All right, so you guys want to do it for real now?